Hey everyone, Matt here from Herbal House. In this video I am talking about the Flexi-Silencer. Now the Flexi-Silencer is essentially a hybrid between acoustic ducting and a fixed length silencer. Benefits of a flexible silencer is exactly that. It is extremely flexible and it can compress down in size. As you can see here, this is the bag that it comes in. This is 150mm ducting, by the way, or that's the diameter of the spigot at each end. So they do condense down quite comfortably. They will stretch out to an appropriate length of about 1.2 meters, which is suitable for a lot of people, but not as long as what acoustic ducting could be, which is up to 5 meters. We are going to be doing a test shortly in this video to just show you how much noise reduction you can expect to see from a couple of these set up to your fan. As we have back here, we have the standard ducting on a 150mm fan, which we'll fire up and do for referencing. We have a dBc meter here, which is going to help give us some comparative numbers, and we're doing tests in our warehouse, so definitely not the most perfect environment, but at least it'll give you some comparison. So with that in mind, I'll just run you through the actual design of these things. So as you can see, it's got a black plastic wrap on the external, nice and firm essentially. It can take a bit of abrasion and not wear through. You're not going to expect any leaks through the side. Through the inside, which you might not be able to see there, essentially it's a silver lining and it's got perforations throughout the inside, which leads to a foam or a fibrous material which is between both layers. So that's extremely effective for reducing noise and not reducing airflow as much. But please be aware, if you do decide to bend these around corners, you're going to lose a little more airflow, but you'll also get more noise reduction. So with that in mind, we're going to fire up the fan and we're going to do a test with the tent zipped up to give you an idea of what it'd be like to stand external of the tent with this fan running with standard ducting, and then compare that against fitting two of these bad boys to the fan and giving you some comparative numbers. Let's get started. Okay, so just before we get started, I'm just going to take a quick decibel reading just to give you what ambient is, at least currently. So I'll just be quiet for a second. So about, I don't know if you can see that, about 54 dBc. So that'll give us a reference to work from. So what I'll do is I'll just go and turn on the fan and we'll have a listen from the outside. This is standard ducting, of course. So we've got about 58.4, so that's about a 4 dBc increase, which might not sound like much, but it is actually a reasonable hike. And I don't know if the audio from the microphone's actually picking this up. It might be censoring it out, but it is an actual quite substantial amount of noise by comparison to not running the fan, of course. So I'll just pop in there and I'll give you a quick reading of inside the tent as well. So just inside the tent we're sitting around 65.1, so a little bit noisier as you'd expect without the canvas there to muffle the noise as much. Now I will mention the ducting is just sitting on top of the tent and blowing into the room. So give us a couple minutes, what we'll do is we'll swap all the ducting over to the Flexi-Silencer and we'll get that set up and we'll take some measurements. Okay, so as you can see here, we've set up a couple of Flexi-Silencers, 150mm diameters, just on the inlet and outlet of the fan between the filter and the back there, and that's blowing to the same place as the other ducting was, which is just above the tent. So I'll just fire that up and grab a reading inside the tent. I will just hold the door behind me though, so it's actually keeping the acoustics in here. So just there I've got 61.8, so versus 65.1, that's quite a considerable drop, or 61.6, sorry, so even better. And what I'll do is I will just zip this right up and then just pull it behind me, just to give you a reference. So I'll take that off hold. And outside of the tent, we're at 56.7. So versus what were we at last time, 58.4. So still a drop there. As you can see, a few decibels does actually make a difference, and the microphone's probably not doing it any justice, as that is just trying to focus on where it's hearing audio. So all in all, for a silencer, they are extremely effective, and for domestic environments, they'll be even better. For things like even HRV systems, they'll fit in your roof space a lot easier. And of course, being a malleable product, you can just bend them to suit any of your applications. So we've just thrown those on there with no clamps, just to sort of throw it together and give you guys some results. So we're really pleased to see what these have to offer. So if you go for two, it's really going to help reduce the noise, one for the inlet and outlet. but to be fair, even just an external or an outlet of the fan is going to make a considerable difference. So I hope this helps, and thank you for watching.